Coming up on Finding Better podcast, we're going to talk about finding better through travel. And not only that, I mean, how cool is that, right? But not only that, we're going to talk about traveling solo. Tsvety is joining me, and she's going to share her experiences traveling across 33 different countries solo. We're going to talk about the first time she did that and how it just opened her eyes and just gave her amazing, amazing perspectives, not only on the world, but on herself. And she found better through traveling solo. Something for all of us to think about. I'm doing it. So, with that, here we go. Hello, 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 and welcome back to our Finding Better podcast. My name is John Suzuki, and I'm your host. And this is where we share real life experiences of people who've been there and done that. Because, sometimes the best path to success is to follow in the footsteps of others who've been there, right? And sometimes we can give you shortcuts. Listen, this episode is part two of episode 135, which was called Solving Your Loneliness Through Travel. My guest is Tsvety. She is amazing. And just to give you a little bit of a summary of episode 135, which you want to go and listen to, okay? But we talked about travel. We talked about solo travel. We talked about budget travel, about safe travel, about immersive travel, about local travel. We talked about all kinds of travel. And one of the most poignant things that Tsvety shared was that through all of that, she found and realized that happiness, your happiness, my happiness, is not out there. We all think that it's out there somewhere, right? But happiness is right here, right? It's right where we are. It's who we are. It's in us. And the thing is that a lot of times, I know for me, our life is a lot about living the expectations of other people. Do you feel that way sometimes? Right? When you think about that. And so given that this is about travel, and I'm very, very passionate about travel. I love travel because when it comes to finding better, travel makes you better. It really does make you better. But the really cool thing about it is that as travel makes you better, so too do you make the world better. And so too do you bring the world together. And so, Tsvety, I'm so happy you're back. Thank you again for joining me. Welcome back.
I'm so excited to be back. Our first session was wonderful, and I could not wait for us to do our part two. Just on the edge of my seat because I loved how our conversation flowed, and I really hope that the listeners enjoyed it as much as I loved being on your
And
podcast.
and I learned, right? Because I mean, when it comes to solo travel,
Mhm.
you shared so many wonderful perspectives and benefits of what you went through and what you experienced by traveling by yourself.
Yes. Yeah, the benefits like I mentioned last time, that transformation from feeling deep loneliness and then that transforming into solitude. I didn't know the difference between those two before. I thought they were the same thing. And finding that solitude is so empowering and reconnecting with yourself and definitely thriving in situations where you are by yourself and you are figuring out how courageous and how brave you can be in new countries or new cities. So that's something that one of the benefits that we discussed in the last episode.
What you mentioned about with regard to loneliness versus solitude. I thought
Mhm.
about that a lot, right? Because
Mhm.
and they are very, very different things. And I realize that when I think of loneliness, when you think of the word loneliness or you think of the feeling of being lonely, you're kind of closing in on yourself, right?
Exactly.
It's kind of a closing in feeling. Whereas when you think
Closing
about
in, emptiness, very
yeah,
empty.
yeah.
Mhm.
And when you think about solitude, and thinking about the word solitude, I think of myself walking through a forest by myself.
Yes.
I think of myself, walking along the beach by myself,
Yeah.
an empty beach by myself, right? Which is kind of ironic because an empty beach would might signify loneliness.
Hmm.
But
Yeah,
when you think about the feeling of loneliness and you think about the feeling of solitude, they're two totally different things, right?
exactly. And one is solitude bringing so much peace with the
Yeah,
time with
it's
yourself.
peace.
Peace.
Peace. That's what it is. So since our last conversation, I mean you left such an impression on me that I'm having you back. But
Yes.
the thing about it was it your experiences have been wonderful, and I thought back on it, and I'm like, okay, now not everybody can do what you did,
Hmm.
right?
Yep.
Everybody's got barriers.
Yeah.
Everybody's got reasons why not.
Right.
Um, and one of the things that we talked about just briefly last time that I wanted to also talk about, kind of related to this, is giving yourself permission.
Hmm. Yes.
Okay. So talk about those roadblocks and talk about the permission aspect of breaking through that.
Yes. And like we mentioned last time, when we are set in our ways of a traditional life where, we worked so hard through college to start a specific job, and now we're at that, and that, everything looking great on paper. I know we discussed that, and sort of finding yourself checking all of these things, but not really digging deep inside to see what are the dreams that you kept putting off. And so to give yourself permission to dig deep, to figure out those dreams, and travel being one of them for me, and finding this sort of courage to start on my travel journey was that permission that we discussed. It was just sort of, okay, I want to really take on this dream, and I want to stop putting it off. And I'm giving myself permission to pursue it, really, just to pursue it and to follow that thought, that wish that I had for so long. And so that's one of those sort of mental blocks that we tend to really keep within ourselves. And it's keeping us in situations where it's making us very unhappy, it's making us very lonely, and we're not opening up to the world in the way that we could if we really dug deep and gave ourselves permission to pursue what is inside.
You know, there's a lot to unwind with what you just said, but because one thing that came to my mind is you talked about you get the degree and you do these things in a traditional life. And as you were talking about that, I was thinking about this checklist. Check, 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 check. And on the one hand, it's a list of accomplishments. On the
Hmm.
other hand, it's a list of things that tie you down. And what I
Hmm.
mean by that is that, we've all heard stories of people who say, I'm supposed to be a lawyer. I'm supposed to be a successful businessman. I went to college. I got my degree. I invested so much money to do this, and I can't do those things. I can't give myself permission because my mom and dad are expecting me to be a doctor, right?
Yep. Mhm.
My friends, all these expect again, going back to living on other people's expectations and not giving yourself the gift of yourself. And
Mhm.
that's what I'm hearing from you in terms of the permission. And that's
Yeah.
I realized that's why it's so hard to give yourself permission because a lot of us have so many obligations,
Mhm.
right? And these obligations may be real, like I gotta pay the mortgage, I gotta feed my kids, I got these things. But then there's other obligations that really aren't real. They might
Right.
be real to us, but you know
Mhm.
what? Are they gonna kill you? Right? Are
Mhm.
they going to is it a life or death situation, or is it you don't want to disappoint somebody?
Mhm. And
right?
yes, and I think the permission, the along it comes alongside with there's a big fear. I think they're hand in hand. So
Yeah,
you're not giving yourself permission because you are afraid to step away from those roles that you just described. And so there's a big fear to, oh, but I've always been, a lawyer.
right, right.
How do I step away from becoming a traveler for, let's say, a couple months or several, and that doesn't fit. So you're not giving yourself permission to think of yourself in a different way, but you're also afraid to step away from that role that you have been playing for
That's
so
right.
long.
That's right. That's right. I came up with an acronym for the word fear. Want to hear
Mm,
it?
yeah, of
Okay.
course. Yes.
Fake expectations appearing real.
Oh, yes. Yes, yes, yes.
They're fake expectations appearing real. Worst case scenario almost never happens, right?
Oh,
And yet it guides our lives. I mean,
yeah.
it directs us on how to live our life is fear. And and that goes back to the, the whole thing of living other people's expectations, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
In terms of your own life, they are fake, right?
Hmm.
They're fake.
Yeah.
I mean, set yourself your own expectations and live your
Yes.
life with that.
But and John, just more recently, I have come to meet a few people who hold on to those expectations, and you can
Hmm.
clearly see that by some the way they approach me after I do a talk about solo travel, and they come off and it comes with such sort of negativity, and it says, "Oh, I could never do what you do. I could never be a solo traveler." And I wish that I could take some time to unpack that with them. And of course, if you are feeling the same way and you're just saying, "Oh, I could never go somewhere alone. I can't even have lunch by myself, let alone go to a different country." And I can help you through that mindset because there's a lot of fear that's happening there, a fear of the unknown, and it's normal. It's completely normal. And then there's also a lot of sort of the programming of how we should all be living certain traditional lives. And it's scary,
It
it's very
is.
scary. So when I've most recently gotten approached that way, I just, kind of first take a moment to say, okay, I'm sensing there's some fear there. And this particular person said, oh, no, it's not the fear. It's just, it doesn't seem like it will be enjoyable. It doesn't seem like it would be any fun to have to do this by myself. Like basically that there's no point to it. And to that part, I have, just like we discussed about the benefits in the last podcast, I have transformed into such a brighter and confident and resilient person. And to me, I want to communicate that to everyone, and whoever is ready to take that step, I am full of energy that I can absolutely share that. So
Well,
that's
I'll tell you something. That's probably the biggest reason why I love you is
oh, thank you,
because
John. Right back at you.
I mean, but it's a visceral feeling for you. I mean, it's been something that has changed your life so much that you want to share it with others and you want to help other people experience it. I have people all the time that I mean that's what we do here on Finding Better. We share our experiences and encourage other people to either avoid them
Mm,
or we can help them through whatever they're going through. Um, in your case, you are not only sharing, but you're really encouraging, and
mhm.
you want to give the gift that you received to
Yeah.
others, and that is so cool.
It
And
feels selfish to keep it. It really does. It
Yeah,
feels
yeah.
selfish.
I mean, when you believe in something so much, but the flip side of that is that as you're talking and people come, I could never do that. You just want to shake them. You just want to
Yeah,
say, you can do this.
exactly.
But
You
you
just
know,
demonstrated what was going inside of me when this woman came up, and I said, okay, I don't even know where to begin, but I know that I can definitely at least give the possibility in your mind, just to plant that seed
yep.
that you can have at the very minimal have fun by yourself. That's actually just the beginning once you start to open up, and then all of the other benefits to enjoying time alone and solitude and making those connections that we discussed in the last episode. It just keeps going after that, and then taking that first step, I think, is obviously the hardest.
And I want to talk about that first step, right? Because it doesn't have to be the first step into an 18-month solo travel journey, right?
Correct.
And so I want to talk about that in just a second. But one thing I was interviewing this another young woman the other day, and
Oh, thank you.
she was talking about uh,
Not so young, but
oh my
I'm
God. Oh my God. You are
happy.
such a young woman. Yeah, you're such a young woman. You don't even know how young you are. You're so naive. Okay, so uh,
I mean, in 3 months' time, I'm turning 40. So
yeah,
this
like
is
I said, you have no idea. So so uh, but we were talking about um, surrounding yourself with people who will support you. And
yeah.
she made a really interesting comment. She goes, go for a walk with someone who you really, really like. And I
Mhm.
said, okay, like my best friend. She goes, no, like yourself. I
Perfect.
said, what?
Exactly.
She said, first of all, I don't know if I kind of like me, but there's other things that I don't like. So anyway, but she said the point was, go go on a walk by yourself with you.
Hmm.
And
Yes.
there's something profound in there,
Hmm.
right? There's
Exactly.
something really profound in there. And I think it goes back to you saying that that solo travel brought you back to yourself.
Yes. Yes. And I took many walks, and they happened to be in different countries.
Yeah.
And it was you spending so much time with your thoughts, with yourself physically, obviously, and you can't escape a lot of the trauma and the demons, and so it was therapeutic for me in a way, and it was just I learned how to self-soothe better. I learned how to manage stressful situations if, like there was a flight delay or something. And I just remember before solo traveling, I would get really, stressed and anxious, and what this person is waiting for us on the, to pick us up, and they're not gonna, it's all so stressful. And now, sort of, wait a minute, this is
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
part of life. If I get there an hour later, and or 2 hours, it's not there's no one's gonna get killed.
Don't
Like,
forgive me. Yep.
yeah, like there's just there's a portion of this now where I came up to having more patience, having more understanding, that time is precious, life is precious, connections are very precious,
Connections are
and
precious. Yeah. And
just
and
that word.
I'll even say connections with people you don't know are precious,
Yeah,
right? And
exactly.
and as you were talking about, as life goes on, frustrations happen, shit happens, all kinds of crap happen.
Hmm.
And but the connections make you through get you through it. And so don't
Hmm.
forget that. Don't forget that part of it. But that's a wonderful, and when you're I have found that there are times when I will go places and do things with my wife, like go
Hmm.
to dinner or just do stuff. And there are times that I'll go by myself. They're very different experiences. They're very different
Yes,
experiences, right? Because when
exactly.
I'm with my wife, I'm with my wife. And
Hmm.
I'm my job is to take care of her and to be with her. And yeah, there's lots of other people around me, but my primary attention is on her. When I'm by myself,
Hmm.
she's not there. So what else am I going to do? Right? I mean, I'm looking around and I
Yeah.
am a little bit of an extrovert. And so
Yeah.
I'm looking for people to talk to, right?
Yeah.
And it's just wonderful. It's wonderful. And I can't remember a time when I tried to strike up a conversation with somebody and they said, "Oh, shut up." Right? Or "I don't want to talk to you."
Exactly.
No one has ever done
Exactly.
that, right?
Yeah.
And
Or,
so yeah.
you can clearly see that they're busy. So you
So,
just,
you just
you respect that
yeah,
time. But
you look that way.
90% of the time,
Yeah.
90% of the time, just saying hello, hey, starting that conversation.
Oh, huge. Yeah.
It's so huge, and it's not being there. There's a part that now I have learned that approaching people with vulnerability and saying, okay, yeah, I was just in this country. Have you been there? As a fellow traveler, or if they're not traveling, then it's just in a coffee shop. This is my first time here, and you
Yeah.
start this conversation that way.
Let's talk about what we were saying before about okay, you went on this multi-month, multi-year journey,
Hmm.
and we're talking about solo travel. Not
Hmm.
everybody can afford to do that, right?
Right.
People have got lives, people got obligations. But the way that I think of things, think of doing new things, Sveti, is I think of the metaphor of a muscle, right? You
Yes,
start off small and you exercise that thing. You start off exercising the muscles, right? And the more you do it, the stronger it gets. And the
exactly.
less you do it, the more it atrophies. And so,
Mhm.
you know, how do people start? How can people start practically with this
Yeah.
journey of gaining the benefits of solo travel in a practical way?
So definitely starting local and perhaps going to a lunch spot that you usually go with other people, but maybe you go to by yourself. And the most important thing, and I know we said this last time, is putting that phone down, not being attached to it,
Yes.
not being in that world of the phone. So you can actually take a step back and look up into what is surrounding you. And it doesn't have to be a new country or a new city or a new state. It just being present in that moment with yourself, taking that time for yourself without the phone, without the distraction, without the way to hide behind it. And so you can start with just having a lunch by yourself. You can do a day trip to a city in your state that you haven't been to. Maybe on a Saturday, you decide, hey, you know what? I'm just gonna go on a road trip. I'm gonna drive to this part of the state that I've never been to. I heard there's a lovely hike. Maybe you can do a hike. There, there, there are things that you can start doing by yourself to build the confidence. And
To
just like you
build
said,
that muscle.
to build that muscle. And
So
then perhaps you can then start veering off into, okay, now I'm going to book a week. And you only have 2 weeks vacation, so it doesn't have to be months. And maybe it's a place that you have always dreamed of. And you decide, I will make that week. I will go to Spain because I always wanted to go to Spain. And so you book that and you do your research, or you come to me and say, have you been there, Sveti? And I will say, probably. And we can talk about how I can help you plan that trip out so it doesn't cost you an arm and a leg. I'm a very budget-friendly traveler, and I do my research super thorough, super thoroughly, and rely on a lot of my friends, now my travel friends and connections, and I'm so, so blessed. So that's how you can start, and baby steps.
couple
And
of
give yourself
things.
kudos. Yeah, give
Couple of
yourself
things on
kudos.
this. All right.
Yeah.
So as you were talking, I was thinking about something that I think a lot of people can relate to. And that is, right now I'm in San Diego. I also spend a lot of time in Seattle. You know, I'll have friends that come to visit, visit us, and they'll say, "Hey, I want to go here. I want to go there. What do you know about this place?" And I'll be looking at them going, "What are you talking about? What you want to go where? Where is that?" Right? And
Exactly.
we lived there, and my friends will go, "How long have you lived here?" Right? You've never been
Yep.
to this place before. And so, there's so many places just around us, around,
Hmm.
like you say, locally, that are amazing places that we just never give ourselves the time to go. So,
Yeah, being a tourist in your own city.
yeah, pull out the pull
Trans-
out pull out a go to travel at TripAdvisor or go to one of these travel sites and find out what the heck is in your city, right? And
Exactly.
maybe start there, go there by yourself, and do that, and that could be really cool. And the other thing that I wanted to say was that we're building this muscle, right? We agree to we start to build this muscle, and we do the week dream trip by ourselves, right? Like I
Hmm.
want to go to Israel, and you inspired me. She's a little bit insecure about traveling, which we will build that muscle. But she
Yeah.
really doesn't have any interest in going to Israel. You inspired me. I'm gonna go by myself. So, um, and there's gonna, and
Amazing.
so
Ah,
as you're
that just makes my
right,
heart, that just warms
right,
up my heart so much.
yeah.
Yes.
And then
Ah,
as you build that muscle, right, there may come a point in time when you decide to change jobs. So now
yes.
all of a sudden, you're not limited to that 2 week vacation.
Hmm.
Give yourself the gift, you know,
Yeah.
and you can spend some of that time traveling on your own. It's just lovely. I mean, and I don't use that word. I mean, that's such a weird. Anyway,
Oh, I use it all
but
the time. Lovely
okay,
is a
good.
wonderful word,
Maybe
but
it's not a guy word, maybe it's not a, maybe it's not, it's cool.
oh, I think it's plenty cool. Lovely is great.
Okay, good, good.
I just
Yeah.
couldn't be happier. I'm so glad that you're just planting that little bit of a seed that it's possible, that it's completely doable. Obviously, we got to do the research, and just like we talked about safety, especially as a woman, having
Yep.
to do certain kind of adjustments and thinking about everything a little bit more strategically. Guys, you guys have a little bit easier than us for this,
We
especially
do.
worldwide.
Yeah, we
So,
definitely do. But
yeah.
and I want to share one thing that we talked about last time. And for those of you who have heard this, it bears hearing again, right? A big part of safety is keeping the bad guys away.
Yes.
And arguably, but not very much so, my experience has been that the best way to keep the bad guys away is by not looking like a victim.
Exactly.
You're agreeing with me, right?
Oh,
And I mean, it is especially ladies. If you're walking down the street, looking around kind of coyly and with your shoulders
and
down
timid.
and
Yep, and timid.
timid, right? The bad
Mhm.
guys aren't looking for hard targets. The bad
That's
guys are looking for easy targets. If you're out
true.
there, guys, this is to you too, and your shoulders are back, your head is up, and you're walking confidently like you know where you're going, and
With
occasionally you're looking
intention.
around with
Yep.
intention. You're walking
Yes.
with intention, right? That sends a completely different message. It really does. And I mentioned last time that I'm part of a dojo and of a karate dojo. And I've
Ooh.
never known a black belt. I've never known a black belt who's gotten into a fight. I've known
Mhm.
brown belts, but I've never known a black belt after they reach the level of black belt. And we've got hundreds and hundreds of black belts, and I've trained many black belts. Never known a black belt as a black belt who's gotten into a fight. And
Mhm.
I believe it's because we present ourselves with intention. And we don't
Mhm.
even know it. We don't even
Right.
know it. So,
Yes.
you don't have to get a black belt to walk around with intention. Fake it.
Exactly. Yes. That's what I do. That is
Yeah,
exactly what I
right?
do.
Exactly.
I'm in the
Exactly.
city. I don't know anybody. It happens very often. I walk around streets I've never been to before in my life, but I rely on Google Maps. I kind of know what street to turn left on, and I make sure that I stand up straight, that I give the impression that I'm going to this place that I've been to before, and I'm completely
Yes.
faking it, just like you said.
Yes.
And I am
Right.
walking straight, and I have like I'm walking with intention, and so on, and that sort of now carries through. I do the same in when I walk through the airport now. Airports are very safe, and so I had somebody comment that was sitting next to me in the airplane. I was going from, I believe, Bali to Singapore, and he said, "You are giving off energy like you know Krav Maga." And I said,
That's awesome, right? And that is totally something
"Oh, I think we
that
got
that that's the
corner."
kind of body language that you are communicating.
Okay. Oh,
Do you hear
we
me?
broke up for a sec. Yes, I can hear you
Are you
now.
hearing me okay? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So we're going to continue. So Krav Maga. Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, "Oh, don't, aren't you, like a specialist in Krav Maga?" No, I've never been to a class or anything.
So you've
But
learned to fake it till you make it,
oh, yes, it's so
right?
important. It's very
Yeah.
important. And
Yeah.
it does, and it's just body language because
It is body language.
you're not communicating, and it could be saving you from a lot
Here's
of
another thing, folks. Oh,
uncomfortable
sorry.
experience.
Yeah. Here's another thing. Okay. And again, guy, the bad guys do not want to mess with someone like Tsvety, who they think knows martial arts and how to kill you. So they just don't. The other thing I'll say that's worth saying is don't be walking around with your earbuds in your ears. My
Mm,
God,
very
right? I mean, don't take those damn things out and make sure you're paying attention to what's going on in your environment. I told
For
my
more than
daughter,
just
mhm,
safety, for more than just safety, even just to be present and to
be
absorb
present.
that time.
That's right.
Yeah.
And
So two
and
things,
and uh-huh.
earbuds off because of safety, and then
Yep.
also earbuds off because to be present and to really take in that moment and
Yeah.
savor it.
Totally. And I'll just tell you. I told my wife, not my wife, but my daughter when she was in college, I said, if I ever come and visit you and I see earphones on your ears, I will kill you myself. And
I'm
I'm
sure she
like,
loved that.
well, I never saw her walking around with the
Oh,
earphones in her ears. So yeah,
it
it worked.
happened. It
It worked.
worked. It worked. That's so
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
that's the important part. But
Yeah,
yes,
that's right.
so I'm glad that we touched on safety again because that's another question that I get often that I get asked often.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think kind of circling back to the original of the comment that I just received about I would never be able to travel solo. I
Hmm.
could never be like you. Yes, you can. And there was another comment that the woman made as well is saying. It would, I would not want to go to a place that much to do it alone.
Uh, mm,
And I saw
yeah.
that that was very deep, and that showed how much she prioritizes having someone next to her at all
Hmm.
times. And there's
Hmm.
a lot of people like this.
Yeah.
Probably even the majority of people, they just want someone next to them, and they don't care
Yeah.
about the destination, and they don't care about that. And that is okay. But then you're missing out on seeing more of the world and getting to know yourself.
But
I
you know what,
think those are the two things that you're missing out on.
but you know what I might say to that person?
Hmm.
Start exercising. right? I would tell them, that it's a muscle. What we're talking about, if she's thinking about going to a foreign country that speaks a foreign language by herself for the first time, that's like going from Pee Wee football into the NFL. I mean,
Right,
start with going to the neighborhood diner by yourself,
right.
right?
Yes.
What we were talking about, and
Yeah.
and just and if
Uh,
nothing else, try it. Try
right.
here's something for you folks.
Just try it.
Start small, try it. You might
Hmm.
like it, and if you don't like it, you've tried it.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah. And and it could be the best solo weekend that you have had going on the other side of the state, so they give it
Absolutely.
say maybe you're just going for you leave on Saturday morning and you come back to your place on Sunday, and that full 24 hours of having time to yourself. Maybe it's a spa, maybe it's some, maybe it's a hike, whatever that is your interest, but you're spending that intentional time alone, and
Right.
you will get benefits from it. I can promise you. I can guarantee it because I have had so many in this lifestyle, and mine's even the extreme one. But I wish that, and I'd like to believe that because she heard me speak, this particular woman, because she heard me speak, because I answered all these questions that she had, and kind of saying between the two that we just discussed, I'd like to think I planted that seed that she might in the future come around to saying, maybe I can do something by myself,
Yep. Yep.
and I
If
don't
she
need to
did it,
share. Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. If she did it,
Yeah.
maybe maybe I might enjoy some time alone, doing something that I just want to do for me. So I'm sleeping better just thinking about that thought, that that the possibility there is for, even for people that obviously are judgy about and are critical. I don't judgy maybe is not even the word, but critical about this sort of openness.
You just being alone, doing something for me.
Hmm.
There's a tagline in there somewhere. All right.
I,
This is
yeah.
amazing. This is amazing. Sveti, for those
Yes.
folks who would like to connect with you, how do they do that?
Please follow me on Instagram, or my website. They're both the same. It's Tsvety Roo. So tsvetyroo.com, TSVETYROO.com. And so you could get freshly. I just made this a guide, a free guide just to get started, and 5 simple steps to sort of get you thinking about perhaps being a solo traveler. And
And
so you
folks, this
download
is
that.
the it's
Yeah.
genuinely free.
Yes.
Okay. It's not
Just a,
something
yeah.
that she's going to use to get you in to buy a $28,000 product. This is
No.
genuinely for free.
Yeah.
And again, Sveti is spelled Tvety, Roo, ROO. Okay. So go to .com or
Mm.
go to her Instagram, and you can see she's just an amazing person, an
Thank you.
amazing, amazing person. So with that, Saveti, you have anything else? One last comment?
I hope I planted the seed.
Try it. You might like it.
Yeah, try
Okay?
it.
Go to your diner.
Explore.
Yeah.
Explore.
Try a chocolate milkshake instead of a strawberry milkshake that you get all the time. Who knows?
Ooh,
You might like it.
yeah.
By yourself.
Yes. And
All
no one's
right.
gonna judge you because
That's it. That's it. Saveti, I love you. God bless you. Thank you again for joining me.
thank
I know I'm
you.
going to have you back. I know our paths are going to connect over and over again. Everybody out there, check it out. Like she said, we're hoping that she planted a seed, right?
Mm.
And again, if Saveti can do it,
Yeah.
even with all of her martial arts and everything no, I'm just kidding. Without the
Non-existent.
martial arts, right? But she
Non-existent
learned to
martial.
fake it. and it's been wonderful. So hopefully we planted a seed, and uh, love to see it. Give it
Thank
a
you so
shot.
much, John.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everybody out there, I love you. God bless you. Thanks for joining us. Share this, and we'll see you next time. Bye.